This bad boy was sitting in some field in eastern Utah, and after a few exchanges with the seller, I made arrangements to have him bring it to me, which is kind of a bonus. The good news is I don't have to drive to eastern Utah. The bad news is that whatever lands here, I bought it. The plan of attack is this. Number one, pull the front clip. These fenders probably go in the garbage can. Take note, 2 spacers on each fender. Nope, 3 spacers on this fender. So all this comes off. At that point, I can work my way through the frame portion of the front clip, pop the steering box and the steering column. I like the more modern steering ratios, and so probably that steering box is garbage. Ow! Dirty bugger! Got bit by a wasp. Yeah, there's a nest in there. I might want to take care of that. Ouch! Dirty bugger. Empty off the firewall and shave that. And probably not with a kit. I would probably just cut my own sheet metal. Dallas!
Are you on a date night?
I'm on a date with my 68. Is that a date?
Oh, good. Good. So you're home.
I'm home.
I'm wondering if you have a couple sticks of metal I can use for bracing in this car.
Sure.
This caddy.
Yeah.
I'll pop over and we can take a look at your Camaros.
Yeah. Come on over.
Cool. All right. See you in a bit.
Okay. But I've about got all this now, so where I can pull the subframe out, which I don't think I want to do until I'm set up in there.
But what are you going to use for a subframe?
No, I'm going to use this, but I'm going to take it out and clean it up, redo the suspension, and while it's off, I'm going to shave the firewall. Well, it's firewall day. There are a lot of different ways to do this. You can buy a new firewall, the whole panel. You can buy a shaved panel sheet. I think this Detroit Speed makes it. Or you can build your own. I want a panel that covers a little more than what I can buy. So I took a piece of cardboard and started cutting until I got something that I felt like gave me the look that I'm trying to achieve. I'm not sure that I trust weld-through primer. It might be better than nothing, and I suspect there will be those who swear by it. Personally, I think it might be a little bit better than nothing, but not by much, and mostly it's better than nothing because it makes us feel better. like maybe we've done something to help. And honestly, maybe we have, but I really don't want to use weld-through primer when I don't have to. So what I've done is marked the spots where I will actually be welding through because it's open to the inside of the firewall. I'm going to tape those off, and then I'm going to prime everything with epoxy primer, because epoxy primer I do like. That stuff sticks to anything, and it's practically impervious. They've done amazing things with the epoxy primer. So I'm going to clean this up, retain the marks I made, tape off the marks, and hit it with the epoxy primer. Now that we have the bulk of it covered with an epoxy primer that I do like, I'll hit the sections where the welder is going to interfere with this spray through, weld through primer, which, you know, makes me feel better. One of the decisions that has to be made right about now is what to do with the windshield wipers. A lot of guys are deleting the windshield wipers, and I can understand why. It cleans things up quite a little bit. If nothing else, you eliminate this bulky motor here on the Firewall. You also get rid of ever-present windshield wipers on the windshield. Modern cars do a pretty good job of hiding those. The old classics don't, and they're not very pretty. So the guys who don't put windshield wipers on must not drive in the rain. And I can understand that. If you put a lot of money into a classic car, you probably keep it in the garage when the rain comes out. For me, I don't think I want to do that. I think I want the thing to be drivable, even in the rain. And what I would really love to see is an alternative mechanism for windshield wipers. And I think I'm going to research that for a little while. Before I cut this, I want to know for darn sure that I'm going to be mounting the motor back on here, because it really looks good to have the Firewall clean and shaped and smooth right here. So I'm not going to cut that out just yet, but I'm leaving that option open. What I am going to do is identify the holes for the fender that are right about in here and get those drilled, because those are a necessity. The trick, of course, is that we don't know exactly where that hole is. One way to do that is guesstimate and put your finger on it and run your finger on the other side. That might work. I may end up doing that. But what I'm going to try first is coming at it from the inside. Braille bodywork. The wiper motor is right here with 1, 2, 3 bolt holes. I'd be really interested in knowing what you guys are doing here. What do you recommend? Yes, I do want windshield wipers. Is there another way? Or should I cut this open? Help! I have a little bit of cutting to do right along this edge right here. It's a little bit high on this side. I like where it is right here and here, but at this point it's a little high all the way across to right here. So we'll take the grinder to that. I'm really happy with the way the Firewall turned out, and there wasn't a whole lot of massaging that was required from the first cut out of the template. Well, I'm feeling pretty good about that. It's definitely not done, but it's protected from the weather so that it won't rust, and it's mostly there. So now it's just cleanup and fine-tuning and touches and, you know, getting it perfectly straight. The fun part. So with that sealed in, I'm going to turn my attention to other things.